Alright, here we go again. War number 8. We're up against 211 New Avengers 2. These guys are pretty good too. Everybody that we face, for the most part, is definitely a good alliance. I think we're 8 for 8 so far on matching alliances that finished in Master last season, which I think is fair. We finished 3rd last season. We should get good competition ourselves. So, alright, I can't remember what I fought in Section 1, but I definitely fight that Mole Man in Section 2. I wasn't super excited about this fight, but I will be using Apocalypse there, and, I mean, Apocalypse is really strong for Mole Man, as you guys know. I think Omega Red might be the quote-unquote best matchup there, but I sent Lizer elsewhere, and that's just a fight that I know I can do with Apocalypse. So, alright, I'm going to be bringing Apocalypse and using Apocalypse. I think I have 3 fights, and I use Apocalypse for all of them. And then I've got Cable just for the synergy, and I'm bringing in my White Magneto so that I can be the pre-fight Sherpa this war. So I'll be placing pre-fights on a few different fights. Yeah. Alright, so here we go. We're moving along to Path 1. And we've got a Black Widow Clairvoyance. I said I had 3 fights this war. I lied. I have 4 fights this war. But they are all with Apocalypse. Okay, so here, I was a little bit concerned about this fight. This is pretty good placement, actually. You really don't want to quake this lady, of course. Ghost would be a decent matchup here. Doom is also a pretty good matchup here. But yeah, I mean, her animation, she's a little bit like Tigra in that her animations are so long and exaggerated, especially her special attacks, that she can get you backed up and cornered. So this is strong placement. My guess is these guys, somebody came up with this idea in their alliance, or maybe they matched an alliance that placed Black Widow here. And yeah, I mean, I can definitely see what can happen here. So I'm able to back up right away, which is key, because instead of her being aggressive, she backs up right away. And then I can hit into her block. I wasn't necessarily even planning on doing the block break with my stun with Apocalypse. It was just for spacing and stuff, and then, I mean, you see with 4 prowess, like, how much damage this dude does, how much burst damage he does on his specials. It's awesome. Alright, so she throws an SP1, and this is kind of the idea here. And that can happen, basically. So she's going to evade you. She's got a 7-second passive evade window after she throws her SP1. So the theory here in placing her on this node is that you can really get backed up into a corner against her, and then yeah, that can cause a multitude of issues. So there, I'm able to get off a clean SP1, which was good, and now I know that I can finish the fight here. So again, overall, pretty good placement. And when I say good placement, that doesn't mean that they're going to get a kill. Black Widow could definitely get a kill. Good placement to me is it like if somebody died to this placement, like would you be like, are you serious, dude? Or would you be like, okay, yeah, I get it. That could actually kind of be I could see where that could be tricky. That's the difference between bad matchup and a good matchup. Or I'm sorry, a bad placement and a good placement. So anyway, Apocalypse here on Masochism. You guys probably all know, but Masochism does count as a debuff purification, and champs can't purify debuffs against Apocalypse, so he just completely erases Masochism, which is very cool. But in general, Masochism isn't, or I'm sorry, Massacre isn't really a difficult defender anyway, as long as you don't have debuffs on you. So, again, the theory here in placing him here is, of course, if you are running, like, say, Omega Red or something, and you're running Suicides, especially with Masochism, he's going to just hit into your block, and he's going to get some free hits into your block before you can land a parry. He can build up those incinerate charges. Frankly, he's probably never going to get a defensive kill unless somebody like royally screws up or has like the worst possible matchup imaginable. I don't even know what that matchup would be, honestly, to lose a fight to mcoc in war. But here, this is actually really funny. You guys saw there, right before I started boosting up, Pete, who is my path partner in this war, was taking Domino. And I know that I'm kind of dilly-dallying here with my boost. I'm not doing it intentionally. I'm just trying to decide, like, I've got just this fight in Kingpin mini-boss on node 55. After this, like, what boost do I really want to use here? Can I be a little bit cheap and save my good boosts? I decide that I'm going to be, like, partially cheap. I throw on the 6-hour lesser boost here just because I wasn't 100% sure that I would be able to get to Kingpin. It basically depended on one of my teammates being available to move me up. And we come out of the boost, and Pete is already done. Smoked that Domino with Ghost. Pete being Pete. All right, now we do have a 355 Mole Man here. And, you know, Mole Man can definitely get tricky. With Apocalypse, though, he kind of can't get tricky. Like, it's so easy to fight Mole Man with Apocalypse. So anyway, this fight is just going to be a really patient parry, full combo. Sometimes, you see I cut my combo short there because I just wanted to bait this SP2. As long as, like, if he builds up Monster Mass, that little gray passive underneath his health bar that has a 0 next to it. See, there he gains a Monster Mass because I inflicted a debuff. And if he has a Monster Mass and I hit into him, then he'll go unstoppable for a second and he'll be able to counter me. It's kind of like, it's exactly like Killmonger's post-SP1 passives. So this fight is really about being patient. I just want to bait out this SP2. I did a poor job on that first SP2. I got a little bit scared since I was so cornered, and I decided that I was just going to block all of the components. Now here I'm able to evade all but one of the hits, which gives me space to throw my SP2, and with the power back boost, I get right back up to an SP2. So I am going to go ahead and bait another SP2 here, and then I can go full combo into my SP2. And again, this is just going to do huge damage. And I don't believe that this ends the fight, but this is going to get us really, really close. I'm just going to do a dash back, a quote-unquote dash back intercept with my special. It's not technically an intercept, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And ends the fight. All right, and then Pete/Ghost, synonymous really, took care of that long shot there. That's really good placement for long shot. All right, and then I've got a Kingpin here. Now this node does have 20% Limber, which means that if the defender is not running the Limber Mastery or anything above 1 out of 5, which is what you have to put in to reach the Dexterity Mastery, then I'm going to get to stun him 4 times before he essentially becomes stun immune. And the theory in placing Kingpin here is that he does have an unstoppable buff that he gets when he throws his heavy attack. It expires a little bit before his heavy attack ends, as you guys can see there, so you can still punish it. So it's not like Magneto where you really can't punish it. So, you know, Kingpin is one of those defenders that I think that he does have value. And to be clear, I think that there are like, let's say that there are like 25 champs in the game that quote-unquote have value on defense, and maybe 5 of those champs are going to be expected to hopefully get a kill, you know, in one of your 3 battle groups each war. Like, that's it. So I wouldn't expect Kingpin to kill anybody necessarily, but he can cause problems. And a decent defender like Kingpin, I think, is most valuable as kind of a matchup challenger. So pairing him on a path with you know, defenders that you wouldn't necessarily want to use Apocalypse against or Omega Red against. He's very good on redoubled determination nodes because all of his debuffs, his rage debuffs, count towards that. He can gain power really quickly. So there's some spots to put him, but I don't really think that that's a great spot for him. But anyway, that is my war. 4 pretty simple and straightforward Apocalypse fights. To be fair, he makes most fights very straightforward and simple. You guys see here, we went 49-1. We only had this one fight left, that's Sinister, and we used Quake there. So overall, pretty decent clear from us. Steve and BG1 with the Nova card, silver. B Manny, the Alliance leader, with the gold. And of course, Bryn going 8 for 8 now on cards. That's it, guys. Leave a like and a comment. Subscribe if you want to. And I'll see you in the next video.